Shockingly, about 40% of the world's population live in countries where they don't have the freedom to choose their religion, change their religion, to worship in community, or even to speak freely about their faith. In over 50 countries around the world, men and women are routinely arrested, imprisoned, and sometimes even killed for simply living out their faith. ADF International created the Global Religious Freedom Team in 2018 in response to the growing efforts of authoritarian regimes to stamp out Christianity and other minority religions. In Turkey, we have seen over the past few years the government systematically drive out missionaries from the country. In Nigeria, we are seeing an increasing number of Christian girls be forcibly abducted and converted to Islam. And in Algeria, we have been fighting the government's continuous closure of churches across the country. When we started this work, we reached out to all of our contacts on the ground in countries where the persecution is most severe. And what we heard from them is that there were coordinated efforts to raise awareness of the persecution, and there were coordinated efforts for humanitarian assistance. But again and again, what we were told is that no coordinated legal efforts existed, and so that is the gap that we are seeking to fill. Our vision is to build up an alliance of lawyers in every country where persecution is severe and where legal remedies are viable in order to help those who are being persecuted through the legal system. In looking to fill this gap, we went back to the blueprint that ADF devised in the early 90s, equipping lawyers on the ground through training, funding, and legal advocacy, and to bring them together in order to create alliances that can work together in coordination for the greatest impact. Increasingly, we are able to be the bridge between those who are persecuted on the ground, the lawyers who are representing them, and the individuals in governments and the international institutions who hold the keys to power and influence. And we're able to do this in large part because of our strategically positioned offices around the globe. The networks we build and the trainings we provide are designed to bring about the sustainability and the scalability for long-term impact. We are seeing that our strategy transcends borders and it transcends cultures. And we recently saw this when a pastor in Vietnam who had been imprisoned for 4 years was finally released. We had been working with the U.S. State Department and the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom and partners on the ground in Vietnam to secure the release of this pastor. And we were able to get a member of the U.S. Congress to officially adopt this pastor and to advocate for his release at the highest levels. And it was at the height of this advocacy that the government finally released him. And soon after his release, he became the head of his diocese in Vietnam. And so we're seeing again and again that this work has a catalytic impact. For every pastor who is released, for every church that is able to remain open, for every missionary who is allowed to stay in his or her country, you can see how this has an enormous impact on the community. Persecution is highly complex. It is unique to each country where it's taking place. And yet we are excited by the fruits that we've seen and hopeful about the fact that God has positioned ADF International and those who are supporting us to keep the doors for the gospel open in the countries where they are most frequently being shut.